Welcome to Market Like a Hotshot live. Deuce. I'm Jeff DeSocio. We have James Feudo. What's up, buddy?
Jeff, what's going on? I can't believe it. We are now at the Larry Bird episode 33.
33.
I love saying Larry Bird.
I know. He was a champion back in the 80s.
He was my favorite. I used to love going to Celtics games.
Celtics games and 80s rock and roll, right? What do you think? It's two of the best things in the world.
Absolutely.
So what do we got? What's James all about here? I heard rumors that you're the go-to for web development.
You heard that?
I heard that from a couple people in the room.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, and you have this new website audit tool right now.
Yeah, we have a health check and an audit tool that we're really, really excited about. So, like, one of the cool things about when we get to do this live is we do talk about some of the things that we do. Yeah. We just like to share some of those updates with people. So, yeah, it's something. It's a complete health check for the website. It's a really nice automated tool that I'm psyched about. So,
yeah, good stuff. And then, last but not least, you have a 5-minute fixes ebook. I heard.
Oh yeah.
We're talking all these like features of JVF Solutions.
I know we've been doing a lot of different stuff as we kick off 2026. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Now about you, Mr. DeSocio. Not to I think I'm gonna have to click that button on Spotify that says you're promoting stuff.
I know we're promoting. We'll be careful.
When we go to Venture Cafe, this thing is so helpful. Your little awake shots that you share from allofmycart.com. And then also, if you've not been to a Mass Professional Networking event in a while, you got to check it out. Jeff just keeps upping his game with it. They get better and better, more people coming, different variety of people. It's been a lot of fun going into those, and you've even dragged me into Boston for a few. He
gets terrified. It's so funny. We're going to Post Office Square garage one day. And we're going up the escalator, and James is up. He goes up. He starts doing this. Look at these buildings, like the tallest building in Framingham, 6 stories.
I know.
You go to downtown Boston, 40, 45, 50-story building. So it was so funny. I almost fell off the escalator laughing. It was crazy. So yeah, no, it's good stuff. And then some merch, right? We got some merch to show.
Oh yeah, we finally.
I don't think you want to wear this tonight. The Market Like a Hotshot merch. We have a hoodie, too. It's actually on marketlikeahotshot.com. My lovely wife bought me one for the holidays, and it was really good. So I'm not wearing it tonight because it's too cold, but that's a good one. And then we have future merch drops coming, too, right?
Yeah. And then we also learned, so we have a funny story to share. Jeff had this crazy idea last year that we should do an e-learning platform. And so when Jeff says, we'll put up that it'll be ready in 2026, I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, that gives me till December. To Jeff, it's like beginning of January.
Yeah, get it done now.
Yeah. So we just launched that. It's
today.
Yeah, we launched that.
It's today. Yeah.
A networking course called Networking Like a Hotshot, obviously. So all this cool stuff that we've been up to. So that's how we like to kick off these live shows, give you kind of an update with what we're up to. There's a few people I want to recognize that I haven't yet. And we have Reagan, who's one of our interns, Paulina, who is somewhere. Oh, she's working the desk.
Working the desk.
That's another one of our interns. There's Isabel, who's our graphic designer, and a few other team members that aren't here tonight, but wanted to recognize them for all their help and everything they do.
Awesome stuff.
Good.
Good.
What do you think?
Should we get right into? I bet this audience right now wants somebody's clamoring to come up here with us, right, and ask us some questions. What do you think?
I want to know who our first question asker is going to be.
Who's that going to be?
I know a few people have told me before the show that they're going to ask a question, and they won't tell me it ahead of time. So this is going to be even more fun.
That we want to work on it because I have to say one more thing. When we prepare for our recordings, we learn about what we're going to talk about 10 minutes before. So that's a good skill to have. You think about, I don't know if everyone's ever done Toastmasters, right? And they give you a topic, say go up there and talk to these people for a minute. So that's the same thing tonight. Tonight you're gonna come up here, ask us a question. Hopefully we'll give the right answer, and then you'll get to be on TV next to James here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
All right, we've got a longtime friend of the podcast who's going to be up there.
Yes.
We mention him quite a bit. Good friend of ours, Mr. Gary Shillman. Come on, Gary.
Yes.
Gary's famous.
He's he's actually not Gary. He's on the cover.
Celebrity in the house.
Gary, good to see you.
You as well.
Don't ask us an online shopping thing. Okay.
It's gonna be a tough one.
All right.
Make sure you're
All right, it's gonna be a tough one. You ready?
okay.
All right. Actually, it's not too tough. So, what has been a question for both of you, really? What has been the most rewarding part of doing the podcast?
Oh, that's a good question.
I love that question. That's a good one. It actually, I always had this dream about being a radio announcer. I always thought about that voice, that voice and being out there, and it just to be able to share our knowledge. We have 60 years of technology and marketing knowledge between both of us, and really to share. And I think that's our forum for sharing with all is our podcast.
Yeah, that's great. I've been listening to the podcast, and you definitely are sharing a lot of knowledge. So,
Thanks. In my case, I just love. I just look around the room, and the fact that we have a community like this, and we had close to 60 people register. We're pushing the fire law or fire code here.
And that's why
which I love.
There's no city of Framingham officials in the building. We actually picked the night that they're having a city council meeting, so they're not here. All right.
Yeah, otherwise, we would have had the mayor and the city councilors here. But no, I mean, to me, that's been the most rewarding thing is the connections it's brought out, the community that we've built. We get a couple comments on every episode. People will come up to us afterwards and share that, oh, that was really good. So it's like, I love creating stuff. I love being creative, and this gives me that outlet. So that, to me, is the most rewarding thing is actually, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, but over the summer, my interns over the summer, we built a website. We essentially built a brand around this whole thing in a matter of 3 weeks. And we figured out how to do the podcasting. I mean, Greg was a great resource. I can, always like to thank him. But the friendships that we've made, us running around at networking events, holding up barcodes, or I call them 3D barcodes, the QR codes.
QR codes.
I know. I'm dating myself.
I go up to some stranger and say, scan this.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? No, just
you'll
scan
find
this.
out.
You'll find this.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? But that's a great question, Gary. Appreciate that.
all right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Gary's the man.
All right. Who's coming up next? Don't be shy. We have almost 40 people in the room
All right,
right now.
Victor come on
Lee.
up.
This guy's from Seoul, Korea. He came here, flew here tonight. No, I'm kidding.
He flew here and his arms are tired.
His arms are tired. Don't go in front of the camera.
It's always fun.
Before I'm gonna take a selfie with this guy.
Oh, all right.
Live on Market Like a Hotshot.
Yeah, okay.
You got to turn the camera around.
Alright.
All righty.
1, 2, 3. Alright.
I'm like, my little head just popped up on that.
Victor gets a lot of shout outs too because
He
we
does.
always hang with him at Venture. when we
Venture
go there.
Cafe, yeah.
And the AMA events in Boston, so
AMA.
it's always good. So, Victor, my friend, what's going on? What's your question?
I think Jeff mentioned about market like a hotshot, right? What is real meaning, both of you? What is the definition of market like a hotshot for you guys?
That is a good question.
Good question.
Well, we talked about, I know you and I talked about what a hotshot means to be. So do you want to talk about the name a little bit, Jeff?
Yeah, so think about marketing in general. What's the idea of marketing? Marketing is to stand out, right? So you want to be, let's say you have a bunch of, blue people in the room, and then you want to be that green person, right? You want to stand out. So marketing like a hotshot kind of defines that you want to set yourself apart, right? You got a qualified lead, the qualified lead for your business or product or service, and there's many people that do what you do, but how do you stand out? How do you market like a hotshot? Is really what I think. How about you?
And then I think the other part of your question was, what does it mean to be a hotshot? Now, hotshot is someone that's good at what they do, enthusiastic about what they do, excited about what they do. I'm going to actually shout out Francis because when you talk to him about the flowers that he does, he's a perfect example of a hotshot. And there's so many people in the room I could shout out for that as well. But that's really what it's all about is being at the top of your game, being the best that you can be in your field. and just wanting to push your limits. So
Yeah, every time I hear your guys, I actually heard this podcast downloaded on my phone. I was traveling back to Korea on the plane. Without a Wi-Fi, I cannot hear nothing about your podcast. So I downloaded 3 episodes. So on the way on my flight back to Korea, it was a 14-hour flight, but I was just sitting down there, put on my earphone on it, and just hear like 3 hours on it. And I realized I slept on the last episode.
So we put you to sleep.
Yeah, they put me on to sleep on the plane.
that means we.
And I wake up after 6 hours. I was like, why I'm so fresh? I was like, just Jeff and James just put me to sleep for this long?
We should tag the podcast helping people with sleep issues.
I have a new topic for an episode, huh? Sleep like a hot shot. What do you think?
Yeah, James. I met James by Jeff on networking. So every time I see James, really inspire to me what I'm trying to do it. So really appreciate it, Jeff. You almost like my dad every time I go to networking. This guy carry me everywhere. It's like, hey, Victor, meet this guy. Shake this guy hand. Like,
Got to be the connector, right?
yeah, it's like
That's why he's the connector.
I'm out here by myself, so all my family back at home. So I really need someone every time I go to like a networking session. So, every time I see Jeff, okay, I'm gonna follow that guy. So, yeah.
No, we love having you with us when we're at these events. It's good.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to hang out and all of that. And,
Yeah.
Jeff's always out there making all these new connections. And he's like, oh, you got to talk to that person over there. Like, he did that with Ann, for
Yeah.
example.
And,
It's like,
Yeah.
poor Ann had to come over and find me because he told her to.
Yeah.
No, I said to James, I was like, oh my god, you James Fredo, you're a celebrity. This is a great moment.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Love you guys. Love that to be here.
Oh, thanks so much, Ann.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hey. All right.
I actually have a funny Victor story to share.
Oh, a funny Victor story.
Yeah.
He's gonna turn all red.
Yeah, no. So my family likes K-dramas, right?
Yeah.
So I watched one. And I just happened to mention it to Victor. He's like, oh, I know one of the actors in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're kidding me. Pulls out his phone. There's a photo of him and the dude that's in there. I'm like, holy crap. He's like, I served in the military with him. So like talking about like weird coincidences, that's why I'll always remember Victor from that.
Nice stuff. All right.
So-
Who's number 3?
We have another question coming up.
All right,
Come on up,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, you have to tell Darren about our music. You think?
I absolutely will. I absolutely will. All right, guys. So you are both clearly marketing hotshots. You've run some amazing businesses, and you've really been able to push them out there. So going into 2026 and thinking about how you're going to continue to market your businesses, what are the top strategies in mind that you have and that you would recommend to those that are running small business or just starting their small businesses that they should be looking to do going into this year, especially with all the big buzzword AI, right?
Right. You want to start
You
that
always
one
have me
up?
do first.
I love having you go first because on every episode he'll ask me a question, he'll
I
quiz
say-
me, and then that's like I have a brain
I
fart,
give it-
and
I
I'm
give it.
like, what? I'm like, I have to remember some technical term from college that this
I know, right?
I'll actually start with that. So,
Yeah.
AI it's a huge thing, and a lot of people are doing AI generated everything. And the problem with that is that you look at it and a lot of it is garbage, like YouTube. I go on there and every short is, because I liked one of them, which is like The Simpsons. They had like The Simpsons in real life. Someone made an intro as if they were, real life version of Simpsons. So now I see them for the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and it's just like keeps going, 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 and they get worse and worse. And then AI has been hallucinating a lot lately too, so like the stuff you get back from it isn't really as good as it used to be. I think the key with the AI piece of it is to use AI. I like the analogy of a wheelbarrow. You put your rocks in the wheelbarrow, and then you move it over, and then you unload them. a lot of people have AI putting the rocks in there and moving them, but what happens is they drop them in the wrong place. So you've got to be the one to steer the wheelbarrow. So I always like to say AI assisted
Okay.
instead of AI generated, because like people, they don't, they're just like, write me a blog post about
Rocks.
write me a blog post about how to sell a wheelbarrow, and then it'll give you it'll spit all this garbage back out at you, and they'll just pump it out. I see people do that all the time. I see it with websites. They're like, oh, I can just make a website in AI, and I'm like, yeah, AI is like the new sriracha, it's like everywhere. Now with AI, it's like,
Yeah. So another big thing with AI. So here's a little tip, right? AI is the operational piece of your business. You want to automate operations. Now I'm going to back that up a little bit. When you start a business, first thing you need is an operational plan. Before you even think about marketing and sales, then bring your marketing person in, then your sales. Because a lot of people say, I need a salesperson right away. Now, think about your operational plan. Think about how you're going to use AI to automate your operational plan, and then bring a marketer in, then your salesperson. Because I've seen so many, even with venture, you see so many founders that they have this great idea, but they can't execute on it. And
they can't even communicate.
They can't even communicate, and that's where they need a go-to-market person to be able to communicate their idea to the right crowd, right?
Yeah. And how about because Jamie also asked us about strategies. So is there a marketing strategy you plan on implementing this year that you want to share?
Meet as many people as possible. I mean, actually, on a serious note, know where your clients are and go there.
Right.
That's a pretty basic strategy. But then it's going to go back to your operational strategy. What's your goals and all that. And I know people hear the word goals a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then hire a partner with the right people. Don't do it all alone, because a lot of self-employed businesses, employee of one, they struggle, right? They try to do everything themselves and try to bring in the right people to be able to help you with that. But I'm going to go back to the operational plan is the number one thing to have in place.
I want to make a note on that too, because combined with AI, because I think one of the most important things too is your AI can be your assistant and absolutely should help you with your business operations behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is feed it. What is your business operation, right? Make sure that you are giving your AI all of that information ahead of time and asking it to act a certain way. I want you to act like my business. I want you to act like my business operations manager. And by doing that, I think that also helps with that back end ahead of time, using AI correctly.
So a big another tip with your prompt. When you do a prompt, everyone understands what a prompt is, right? In your chat, right? Build your prompt like you're talking to another person. Don't build your prompt like you're doing a search or whatever. Almost like Jamie, you're talking to James and having a conversation with James. That's what your prompt should entail, right? So,
I actually did a really funny prompt recently.
oh no.
And everyone's like they're groaning because they know my bad sense of humor. But no, I was sending out, I had to do something that was just like an offer letter for an intern. So just for kicks, I ran it through AI. I'm like, just make sure it's compliant with Mass General Law, blah, blah, blah. You can't really use it as a legal resource, but it will occasionally from time to time point out anything. But then like for fun, I said, pretend you're Louis Litt from Suits. And it actually spit back, it's like, this is lit up. And I'm like, holy crap. I thought that was like, I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, I don't know if the advice was solid, but you can have some fun with it. But getting back to strategy, the big thing for me that I'm looking forward to doing and looking into doing is differentiating, because there's so many times, like, Jeff and I go to a lot of networking events, and we talk to people. We've had conversations even with people in this room. It's like, I go in and it's like me and 3 or 4 other people that do the exact same thing. And I'm like, well, how are you differentiating yourself? And that's one of the things that we're focusing on, not just for us, but for our clients as well. How are you different from the other 10 financial advisors, the other 10 flower shops, the other 10, what makes you different? And that's a huge thing, because a lot of people aren't thinking that way.
No, I think that is huge. People go into a lot of that looking like I'll use an example like, hey, I'm the employer here versus like the value I'm bringing as the business. And you have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
You know, you're the whole person, not just what's on your resume or what's on your LinkedIn profile.
True.
Well, I want to see something about LinkedIn profile, especially if you're starting a business yourself. That's your number one brand and platform for you. Because remember, you're selling yourself. You're not selling the product or the service that your company provides. People trust you. So when you build your LinkedIn profile, brand yourself. And because everybody's going to look, that's the first place people, when they meet you. I met Ann at an event. First thing you looked at, right? And we went, what's this Jeff all about? You went to my LinkedIn profile, right? So you have to, that's another tip I would say getting started as a new business owner is make sure that's rock solid.
I took a webinar today, and I think another piece of advice just to stack onto that is that it's not about volume. So I would say, like, don't feel like you have to post something every single day, but what you post should be resonating with the top 100 people or businesses that you want to engage with, and that the engagements on that are better because it's going to give you better visibility across LinkedIn than the amount of posts that you put out there. There should be
Yeah.
value to them.
A lot of, I call it getting pitch slapped, because that's really what's happening on LinkedIn. Like how often do you?
I just said pitch slapped.
That's what you did. You just slapped me from behind. But like, it's funny because you go on there and there's certain people, and I've given feedback to people that have worked with them, that all they do is they pitch. It's like, we're so great, hire us. Ooh, it's like people get sick of it. So I've actually started muting people. I'm like, I really don't need to know how to do this, and this. I don't need 50 tips every time I log into LinkedIn, like the same rehash of stuff. Like I like to mix it up. I do promotional stuff like we're having the event, but a lot of times it's like, I discovered this. Sometimes like I will use it like a professional Facebook and share something funny or something meaningful. Like I'll usually do that on a weekend. But yeah, like the people that are just like in promo mode all the time, it's just, it's like poison.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Good
Thank you,
stuff,
guys. That's
Jamie.
great advice.
Yeah,
I love
this
your
is good.
questions,
I know,
Jamie.
these are
Good
great
stuff.
questions.
Good stuff. All right, who's next?
All right, Greg
Potter.
Potters. You know something we have not done yet today
What's
so
that?
far, and I'm probably jinxing us?
Yeah.
Is we always bang into the
I
table.
already did it once.
Oh, we're
I know.
two Italians, so we're always talking
Always
with
got
our
hands.
hands. I try to keep mine like behind the seat so I don't do that, but like we'll be talking, it'll be nice and quiet. All right. I know. See, this is what happens when you bring an expert in here.
He's like, this is not right.
It's like if I were helping you guys do this.
No. So I wanted to ask you guys on my podcast. A lot of what I do with my guests is.
Greg, move in just a little so you
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
To the
Yeah,
camera.
come in.
Yeah,
So
on
you're on
camera.
TV. You want to be on TV, Greg?
Hi.
We're friends. We can stay close.
A lot of what I do in my podcasts, Jeff and James, is vulnerability. And I wanted to ask you guys. You've been running your own businesses now for a long time, and you've been partnering for a while. What's been the toughest thing about building your businesses? Like, what have been some of the biggest challenges? And maybe just name one, because there's we're all human in this room, right? And we're not perfect. And I feel like I go to a lot of networking events where I leave and I'm like, man, everyone in that room is better than me. And I know that we all have something to offer, right? So I was just wondering what you guys have struggled with in your time as, and James, you and I talked about this before on our podcast, but what are some of the things that that you've struggled with as a business owner?
I can answer that pretty. Adversity, handling adversity, handling a bad day. I'm in my day job, I'm an executive recruiter, and I've had days that I want to, quit.
Yes.
But now it's like the old sweep off. I had a bad day, learn from it, move on. I think moving on as quick as possible is probably my biggest step for that.
Having a short-term memory, so to speak.
Yeah, just learn from it, move on, because it's going to happen again and again. The second thing is consistency, and that goes with our podcast. I don't care what it is, what's happening. We're here every week. We do an episode. That's what we made a truce.
Great. Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to be away later this winter. Thank God we're going to Florida. We're going to make sure we have enough podcasts to put one out every Monday, every single Monday.
Yeah.
So consistency is the other one. How about you?
Biggest challenge is, I remember hearing the CEO of NVIDIA said that, like, someone asked him, would you do it all again? He's like, no, it was 1,000,000 times harder than I expected it to be. And I wouldn't say it's 1,000,000. I would say it's probably 1,000 times harder than I expected it to be. It is definitely, it's like working out, right? You know, it's like you think you're going to run a marathon.
So when are you going to join me at the gym?
I
I'm putting you on the spot here, James.
I have the free passes.
I gave him a
that
free
Jeff gave
pass.
me, and he said they're only good at 6. Yeah.
What's that?
They're only. It's only good at 6:30 in the morning. So
He's going to go at 6:30 in the morning.
So Jeff and I are going to go like super early, but yeah, I mean the thing is that it's in general it's just been a lot harder than I would have expected because there's so many factors you can't control. As Jeff said, like, you know, those mornings where it's really tough to get out of bed, those are the mornings that when you can get out of bed and move forward, that's when you make your biggest gains. So, you know, it's funny where there's, like, I'll be a little vulnerable here. People will be like, oh, you're this huge success, and then you're like sitting there like, crap, I feel like the biggest failure. And it's, you know, you have a lot of that external support, but internally you've got to, you know, keep that going, and that can sometimes be difficult because things happen, you know, and sometimes they're not your fault. Sometimes you make a mistake. You know, like the team, they hear me complain, like Paulina's been with me long enough that she's like, you know, she's like, what's your mistake of the year this time? Because there's usually like some big thing I do and I'm like, I'm never going to do that again. But it's part of the learning process, you know. It's like, it's something that, you know, 8-9 years ago, I remember being super stressed out about different things. And now that stuff wouldn't even faze me. It's like I joke that entrepreneurship, like, you know, you have like 10 times the pressure that you would working at a real job, but it has made me a lot stronger. It makes me feel a lot better. And I, you know, like things happen, I know I can fix it. You know, it's like I don't want to say it's like you don't have a boss, because I have like 10 bosses that are in here right now, and you know, your clients are your bosses, so it's not that. But like when you have a lot more control over outcomes, it makes it a lot easier for you to solve problems. You know, it's like, all right, refund their money, or give them something else, or fix the problem, or talk with this, or connect them with this, and it's like, you know, you have a lot more options. So you know, making that adjustment is another challenge that a lot of people have too. So, you know, going from employee to entrepreneur.
So you want to trade 40 hours a week for 100.
Essentially.
Essentially, that's what you do, because as an entrepreneur, you're 24/7. You're turned on all the time, right? The on button's always on. And that's another challenge, right? Staying on.
Having the energy to keep up with it.
You need these.
You know, we joke about, like, I seriously, you know, there was a day I was sitting at my desk and I'm like, I cannot stay awake. It was only like 2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, and then he was coming in to record the podcast, and I'm like, crap, I'm going to, like, I think there was one where I was
He fell asleep on me right in the middle of the podcast. He actually took.
I'm like,
Is
you
he,
know,
are you really snoring?
I don't have my CPAP on me. But yeah, I mean, the thing about entrepreneurship, and I have a huge pet peeve because you have these. I stopped myself from saying idiot because I
Don't say it. It's bad word.
Bad word. Not a good word. You have these guys on YouTube that do ads, and they're like essentially telling you that if you're not an entrepreneur, you're a loser. And a lot of people get into this. You know, they get into doing that. They have that mindset. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. You and I both worked for a great company a while ago, and we had great bosses there. And I still keep in touch with mine, and I know you do too. But I think there's just that pressure that when you want to succeed, and there's so many things going on. I can go on and on about the challenges of, you know, what hits you. It's just like, yeah. You're in that machine. Where's Craig? Craig has one of those. What'd you call it? It's called the money.
The prize vault, cash cube.
Yeah, they call it cash cube. So like you go in there and all this money blows around. You try and grab as many tickets.
That's awesome.
That is, yeah. If we had space here, we would have had that here today. But like that is entrepreneurship because you have 1,000 things flying at you at once, and you've got to make sense of it all. So
Yeah, and when you're a business owner yourself, when you put something out there, whether it's a product or a service, you get to say, "I did that."
Yeah.
Right. Not the company.
Not the
behind me,
company.
right? So
That's and that's essentially the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur right there in the nutshell.
Yeah.
What did you build? Imagine it. You're like, I built that. I built that light bulb in the back, right? That's Edison. Edison did light bulbs, not me. But yeah. So I think that's where I feel a lot more satisfied today, not being an official employee anymore.
Yeah.
After 4 years of 4 years ago, I stopped being an employee. And it just feels like today I built something. I did something that it's me. I'm helping others.
Yeah.
That's another big thing about entrepreneurship is helping others.
Absolutely.
Is a huge thing.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate
Welcome.
it.
Thank you.
I think we can take
One
maybe
more question.
one
Who
more.
is the least shy person here?
And I did jinx myself because I hit the table like
You
5
did.
times.
I heard it. I heard it. So there will be some bump
Apologies
noises.
to those listed on Spotify.
I think Amazon picks it up even more. Yeah.
Like Alexa when you have.
Alexa.
Actually, I'll ask a question.
Oh, come on
Sure.
up, Craig.
Come on up. You have to sit in the chair though here.
Yeah. The chair of doom.
The chair of doom. It's like you're not being a bad person. You're a good person.
So,
Come on in. Come
Yeah,
on
move in
in.
a little
do I
closer.
raise this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
raise
just
it.
beep, beep, beep.
Sorry.
It's like a truck.
There's a name for that. What is it? A wind guard?
Pop filter.
Pop filter.
Got it.
Right? I've been a DJ a long time. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, anyways, throughout your careers, you're both entrepreneurs. It takes an idea to incubate. So, how did you develop your ideas? Each one of you has grown. So, where did it start? And how did you develop that idea?
Well, yours goes back to 1998.
I know.
really
I
think
wish my
about it.
memory went back that far.
Yeah, I
but,
know.
No, like for me, I built my first website in 1996 when I was in grad school over at Bentley, and I just kind of fell in love with the technology. I love technology. I'm passionate about it. I get excited when I'm like, oh, I'm building this, I'm building that. New Year's Eve, the ball's dropping, and my family's like, you gonna watch this with us? And I'm like, I literally have the laptop out there coding stuff, and because like I get really excited about it and I can't put it down. It's like a good book for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me indicated, and it's been like that 35 years. I don't know.
35 years.
How many years? Joe, how long ago did we graduate? I can't even remember. Yeah, it's like I can't do the math, but like yeah, thank you. A long time ago, but the idea came to me. It's like, wow, it's fun to really make websites. It's creative, and then now some of the stuff that we're doing, in addition to the websites. The websites is now like just one of the things that we're doing now. The ebook and some of the stuff that helps promote different things that we're doing for our clients. Like when some of our clients come up with questions, Dana and I are like, we have some fun with some of these things that we get to discuss together. But like people will come up with this great idea and I'm like, all right, let's see how we can do it. And that's like the fun part of it. Like I love developing software. I was developing software in college just for the fun of it because I'm like, I know it sounds dorky, but it was like, I had a blast doing all of that stuff. So now someone will come, I've got this crazy idea, how do I make it happen? Like we did a site for golf carts that's we call a multi-vendor marketplace. And they're like, what if we do this? What if we do that? And it's like, holy crap, I don't know. Like, so I wrote a zip code search. I never knew how to do that before. And that's where that's like my spark is. It's like there's always something new. So you get to do something you enjoy, but then there's a newness to it. So you get the consistency of doing something that you love, but then the excitement of doing something that's new. So
So
that's why I picked what I do.
So it's taking the creative and turning it into a business model, business idea.
Yeah,
That's how you develop your revenue, correct? Yeah.
exactly.
You, Jeff?
Me. So I'm a little more services oriented versus product, right? So I'm going to go way back. Another influence I had was my dad. My dad was in sales. Actually, my grandfather was in sales. I went the computer engineering route and had an IT career for 30-something years, right? And I took it, I had a little epiphany probably, 15 or so years ago that I wanted to kind of be in the footsteps of my dad. Now, everyone knows me as the social connector, right? My dad was the social connector, and I know my wife Heather can attest to it. We go down to Twin Oaks down in Cranston, Rhode Island, which anyone knows that restaurant.
yeah.
Right? That was his stomping grounds where he used to meet people and make connections. And I was like, you know what? I want to be like that. So I'm a little bit different. I didn't create anything per se. I was like, I wanted to latch on to the right service providers and be a connector. When I meet somebody at a networking event, hey, I know about this. I know a great digital marketing firm, JVF Solutions. I know a great photographer, David Fox, right here.
Yeah.
Great photographer, by the way. Yeah, so that's where I.
You and I know each other?
We've known each other for about a good 15 years, at least, right? Back Foxborough days.
We're still here.
Yeah, back when the Patriots were winning Super Bowls. Oh wait, they may be doing it again, right? So that's I was a little bit different from that, but I feel a lot more satisfied today because I'm full throttle, 100% to social connector mode.
You pursue what you love.
Pursue what I love. I love Sunday nights. Testament to Heather, my wife, right? I was always in a bad mood on Sunday nights before, right? Now I'm always in a great mood. Yeah, so you made it when you're in a good mood on a Sunday night or a Monday morning.
Yeah.
That you're doing something that you love.
Awesome. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Thank you, sir.
33.
33.
So I think we're at time, Mr.
We are time. So,
Associate.
I would say tonight, here's a couple of things, and I always give this networking tip all the time at my events. Meet a couple strangers tonight, book a follow-up with them. I know it's cold out, so you might want to do Zoom instead of going out of your house until, I think it's going to be cold till like April 15th, right, at this rate. So I like to thank everyone for coming. I know it was, like I said, it was cold tonight. It's tough to get out here. I really think some folks came pretty far, I think. Who's came here? Any out-of-staters? Yeah. Boston. Victor, not to pick Victor, the poor guy, I picked him up at the Framingham train stop today. And how cold it was, right? There's nowhere to stay warm in the Framingham train stop. You got to stand outside. And I was like, that poor guy, man, he was like an icicle. I had to put the seat warmer on like full throttle. So, and we like to thank our sponsors, Charlie Passwalk. Did I say that right? I did.
Yeah.
KW Realty. He was, like I said, he was a vendor of the year last year at Mass Professional Networking. He is the person to go to. He knows the Metro West more than anyone I know, and I've met a lot of real estate agents. And I'd love to thank our volunteers. Where is Paulina and Reagan? They're probably hiding.
They're over at the front desk.
They're at the front desk working hard, so I'd like to thank them for helping us out. And also like to thank Riyadh Shah, who's the CEO of the Metro West Chamber, for letting us use the event. And I don't know where Michael is.
Michael, I think, is probably over in his office, but for allowing us to use the space not only tonight but for the podcast.
And then if everyone knows, everyone else has homework to follow us on Spotify. So we have 30 people in the room. So we may have 30 new followers tonight, potentially, right? Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, if you want to see us on TV.
Right.
Right.
Say what are Italian faces.
Beautiful
you know?
Italian faces, yeah. So, all right, so here we go. Are we going to hit that? All right, so the last thing we want to do before we get back to networking, on the count of 3, everyone has to do this, right? Dramatic. We're going to shout, "Mark it like a hot shot," all right? And it's a 3, 2, 1. Mark it like a hot shot. Woo!